My name's Lukey, reporting for NWAPro.net. We're just days away from the big NWA Pro Show happening at Challenge Stadium, November 23rd. It's going to be massive. Perth is about to be invaded by some of the biggest and best wrestling talent on the planet. David Marquez is rounding them up and bringing them in here, and it's all for your entertainment. You have a chance to witness history as we crown the very first ever NWA Pro Australian Champion. It's guaranteed to happen November 23rd at Challenge Stadium. And one of the people who has a chance at capturing a title that's in that tournament is Perth's own Davis Storm. I caught up with Davis Storm earlier and talked about him and his challenge of trying to get the gold. I'm here with the Iron Man of Australian wrestling, Davis Storm. Now, Davis Storm, you are one of the competitors for the NWA Pro Australian title. In the first round, however, you got to step up against Bobby Marshall. He's a man who you wrestled to a 30-minute draw just a few months back. What are you going to do differently this time to walk away with the victory?
That's a good question, Lukey. And to be honest, I'm not sure exactly what I need to do to beat Bobby. I did just about everything that I could last time to try and put him away, and at the end of it, we wrestled to a stalemate. So I imagine that both of us are definitely going to be far more on the attack than we were last time. Obviously, a draw won't do either of us any good. We'll both see our way out of the tournament. So I think you're going to see an awful lot more attack from both of us. Now,
it's not just Bobby Marshall you got to get through. There's 7 other people in this tournament who want that title just as bad as you. Who do you think is going to be your toughest opponent?
Well, let's take a look at the lineup. Damien Slater, who's had a hell of a year, both abroad and here in Australia. Spike Steele, who has dominated Australian wrestling, especially here in Perth, over the last 12 months. Jimmy Payne, one of the longest reigning EPW champions. He's in top form and he just beat me. Bobby Marshall, who I already proved that at this stage I can't beat. Rocky Romero, Claudio Castagnoli, 2 of the top international stars in professional wrestling today, and Mikey Nichols making his big return here to Perth. So with all that competition, where does the Iron Man stand? How do I stand a chance of making history, of becoming the first NWA Australian champion? Well, let me tell you, I will punch, I will kick, I will bite, and I will scream. I will do anything to create history and be the first NWA Australian champion.
Well, that's what Davis Storm had to say about his quest for the gold. However, if he can get through Bobby Marshall in the first round, there's another few stumbling blocks that stand in his way. One of them is the returning Mikey Nichols. He's been off making a big name for himself in the United States, and now he's come back home here to Perth, Western Australia to try and take this title out. Mikey Nichols is determined, and here's what he had to say about the tournament.
So here it is, fair citizens, finally back after 6 long months. Everyone's favourite superhero is back. Everyone's favourite comic book superhero brought to life is back home, back to where it all started. See, I've been flying around the world for the past 6 months, ridding the wrestling world of supervillains. And then the call came in, the Mikey signal went up in the air, and I knew that it was time for me to head back home. So I threw my cape on, I leapt out, and I came home. Just in time for the NWA Pro event. Just in time for the biggest event Australian wrestling's ever seen. Just in time for the biggest event Perth wrestling's ever seen. So I looked at the card, I looked at my first round match, and guess who it was that I came up against? My arch nemesis himself, the Lex to my Clark, Jimmy Payne. Me and Jimmy, we've gone through it all. Supervillain, superhero, win, loss, lose, draw, win, loss, whatever it is. We've gone through it all. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to do what I always do, Jimmy, and then I'm going to use you as a first step. I'm going to strike my pose. I'm going to use you as a first step towards the NWA Australian national title. And after you, Jimmy, it's going to be the next one, and then the next one, the next one. I don't know how many matches it'll be, but it's just going to keep going. It's going to keep going, and then when it's all over, you're going to see me as the new Australian national champion. See, last time I was in Perth, before I left, before I started on my mission, I said that the comic book of Mikey Nichols wasn't finished. I said the last frame, what it was going to say was to be continued. Well, after this Friday, the newest edition of Mikey Nichols, the latest edition to hit the newsstands, what it's going to have on the cover, it's going to have a picture of me. It's It's going to have a picture of me standing on there. I'm going to strike that pose. Maybe I'll strike that one. There'll be poses strict, and I'll be up there. I'll be striking poses. And what it's going to say, it's going to say Mikey Nichols, NWA Australian National Champion. What?
That's Mikey Nichols. He is part of the tournament for the NWA Pro Australian title. However, it's not just the tournament. Oh no, we're going all out. We're going to give you some of the best other matches as well, including the NWA Pro World Tag Team Champions in action. Carl Machine Gun Anderson and Joey Magnum Ryan. They're going to be in action fighting inside of a steel cage, never before seen here in Perth, Western Australia, but you will see it November 23rd when they square off against Hartley Jackson, making his return to Perth after about a 10-month absence, and he's going to be teaming up with EPW's own champion, Shane Haste. Now, if you're not familiar with the NWA Pro Tag Team Champions, well, let's just say they cause controversy wherever they go. Like, I won't be surprised if you see them on the news by the end of the week causing ruckus at the airport. They may even get deported before the show, but we're going to find a way to get them there. We're just not responsible for what they do when they are there. These guys cause riots all over the world, and, well, we can't endorse what they say, but here's a message from them.
November 2007, like a big blockbuster movie, coming soon. Carl Anderson and Joey Ryan are hitting the shores of Australia, and we're kicking ass and we're taking names because Carl Anderson and Joey Ryan are bringing Sleazy back to Australia.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Oi, oi, oi! Are you a bunch of wankers ready? Because what we are is we're the NWA World Tag Team Champions.
Whoa.
You know what that means? That means when we get off of that plane, I want 15 Australian women to be waiting for Joey Ryan and the Machine Gun, waiting with a red carpet, waiting with fireworks, waiting with explosions, and I want women to stand there. And I want them to just bow at our feet and bow to us. And I'm going to tell women, get up! You Australian hussies, you stand up, and I'm going to tell you to leave. Wait to see us after the show, because we got business to handle. And we're going to walk into the Australian wrestling ring and show the world that we are the best. And we're the best because we're the NWA World Tag Team Champions.
Wow, that match is going to be awesome. It is USA versus Australia. Can the Aussie boys take out the American champs? We'll see. We'll find out. It's going to happen inside of a steel cage. That match is going to be awesome. Also in action, let's talk about Bryan Danielson taking on one of the most controversial wrestlers in the world, Sean X-Pac Waltman. That's going to be a big match. And then the NWA Pro Australian Championship Tournament. It's going to be history making. You can be there and be a part of history. Get your tickets from ticketmaster.com.au. Friday, the 23rd of November, the NWA Pro invades Challenge Stadium. And then the next night, the NWA Pro takes over Bunbury. 2 massive nights of wrestling action. You can't afford to miss a second of it. I'm telling you, it is going to be history in the making. If you're a wrestling fan, if you're a true wrestling fan, you do not want to miss this. Of course, you can still get tickets from ticketmaster.com.au and more details from nwapro.net. My name's Lukey, and I can't wait to see you there.
Direct from the USA, the National Wrestling Alliance heads to Challenge Stadium on Friday the 23rd of November for a huge night of non-stop, high-flying, bone-crunching wrestling action. See wrestlers from all over the world, including former WWE superstar Sean X-Pac Waltman, compete in 9 huge bouts. Witness the chaos as the controversial Real American Heroes do battle with Australia's best within the confines of a steel cage. Don't miss this huge wrestling extravaganza, suitable for all ages. For Perth, get your tickets from all Ticketmaster outlets. Phone 136 100 or online at ticketmaster.com.au. For Bunbury, tickets are available at the Southwest Sports Centre, located at 1 Rotary Drive in Bunbury, or phone 0422 198 120. Or for more details, head to nwapro.net.